Hey gang, it's Tim. So today I wanted to talk about systems and scale. Throughout sort of much of the digital ecosystem, there's this thought that you invest in systems when you hit a particular level of scale. So you invest in systems as, when you hit $30,000 a month in revenue or $50,000 a month, and before that, you just do it sort of manually or whatever. Well, the entire act of creating a business is an exercise in systems thinking. The definition of an entrepreneur is someone who applies systems to create a desired outcome. Same with marketing, right? That's sort of like what you do is you do things in a particular way to influence the outcome. And so that fundamentally is systems thinking. So when people suggest that you don't need to think about systems before your business is a particular size, well, I think they're a little confused, because really what they're talking about is spending money on technology systems and spending money on automation that you got to pay somebody for. But as a business owner, as an agency owner, you are creating systems from day one, and you need to be aware of that for this reason. As you scale, and this is especially true if if you start an agency and you are good at a thing, like if you're good at SEO or SEM and you start an agency around that, you are good at that because you're working through a system. I mean, that's just sort of that's how you get good at stuff around digital marketing is you invest in systems thinking personally, like in your head. Like, I do this thing, I do that thing. Here are my troubleshooting rubrics, and so you actually have a system. But what happens is as you grow and as you have more experience, that system is actually stuck in your head. And that's because it's stuck in your head, you hit a wall, because the system is so integrated with your daily activity that you can't actually explain it to somebody. So I work with a lot of early stage agencies in my agency kickoff program, where they get to this point where they can't get past a certain revenue amount because they are maxed out, because they don't have a system, but they do have a system. So what they have to do is stop and slow down and document what they do, because they're following a system. They're not doing things willy-nilly, right? They wouldn't have any sort of success if they just did things capriciously. So they have a system. So as an agency owner, it is really important to document your own process, your own system, because you have one. And so your system is ripe for optimization at any point. It doesn't have to be when you hit a certain revenue number. It can actually be, your system is ripe for optimization when you have to explain it to someone else, when you need to bring on either a white label partner or a part-time resource to help you with campaign management. So at that point, you absolutely have to focus on having systems in place. And you have them, like they're in your head, you know that, but you've got to document them so they can be shared, because things that are in your head stay in your head. And progress and growth only happens is when you can share your expertise. And I don't know why my camera just totally fuzzed out, but you have to be able to share your expertise. And the best way to do that is to consciously and regularly document your own systems, so that when the time comes to be able to explain something to someone, you can, because you've already documented it. And part of this, by the way, the reason why this is so hard is when you have your own system of doing things, it becomes intuitive, right? It becomes not second nature, but first nature. You just know what to do. And this is a huge challenge, because honestly, if you know what to do and somebody else doesn't share your exact experience, it's very hard for you to say, like, gee, well, you just do this thing. So it is incumbent on you, as someone who wants to grow their agency, to think of yourself as a systems thinker, right? You have to create you have to create an approximation of your system so that it can be shared, because what happens is that becomes your agency's sort of point of view. The way that you optimize, the way that you think about creation, the way that you think about revenue generation, the way that you think about campaign structure, that becomes your agency's advantage because it is unique unto the way that you think. And then, of course, it can be added to and changed and adjusted, but it fundamentally is your advantage because it is your insight first into the market that helps you sell stuff, but it is your process that helps you deliver results. And the results are what keeps the client paying you, right? So your process drives results. So it's incumbent, if you want growth, you absolutely need to document that. And it's crucially important that you continue to drive forward process development as a core competency, because otherwise you will never scale. You will get to that point where you're doing, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000 a month. And what you have done is invented a job for yourself, and you are not able then to sort of grow anymore because like you can't add on anything. And if you don't have your process documented, you can't trust that someone else will be able to do it as well as you can. And I see this all the time. And it is not an issue of control. It is an issue that you have not taken the time to document your process. And that is a key fundamental for growth. And I know it sounds funny because everyone thinks sort of entrepreneurs are intuitive and that they're sort of, fly by the seat of their pants. That's not true. Entrepreneurs de-risk situations by implementing process. That's what they do. They create companies by executing on process. And if you are a really good technician, really good at SEO or Facebook ads or whatever the case may be, you absolutely need to document your process so that you can scale your impact. Have a great day. It's fun talking to you guys.